What happens when your boss is an app and your performance is tracked by invisible algorithms? In Uberland, Alex Rosenblat pulls back the curtain on the gig economy and what it means for the future of work. Uberland is one part investigative journalism, one part ethnographic study of rideshare drivers across America. But its implications extend far beyond Uber and Lyft. Rosenblat explores how gig work platforms have redefined labor, blurring the lines between employee and contractor and between autonomy and control. One of the book's most eye-opening points is how Uber uses algorithmic management. Drivers aren't supervised by humans, but rather by data-driven systems that set prices, assign rides, and evaluate performance with what most drivers consider to be little transparency. Rosenblat critiques the idea of flexibility in the gig economy. While gig work is marketed as freedom and being your own boss, she shows how algorithmic nudges and opaque rules often limit true autonomy and shift risks onto workers. This seems to be especially true for drivers who rely on rideshare to make a living. Abiding your algorithmic manager's whims starts to become a lot more important if it's your primary or exclusive source of income. Finally, Uberland raises tough questions about labor protections. As a lawyer whose practice deals heavily with employment law, this was one of the most interesting parts of the book to me. Rosenblat argues that rideshare and other gig work platforms benefit from operating outside traditional employment law norms, even as they exert employer-like control. In the United States, being classified as an employee versus an independent contractor has very real implications on both the company and the worker, and misclassifications can be extraordinarily costly for the employer. This key point is far too nuanced for a book brief, but if you check out my past videos on employment classifications, you'll get a sense of why drivers who are working full-time hours and obeying the algorithmic manager's directives feel shortchanged. For business leaders and policymakers, Uberland is a crucial read. If your company adopts automation or gig-style models, and there's nothing per se wrong with that, I personally have heavily utilized gig workers with great success in what I hope they would also consider a win-win engagement. But don't forget to consider the human impact and build ethical frameworks that balance innovation with worker dignity. In the interest of full disclosure, I should acknowledge that I frequently use Uber in connection with my business, and the limited data available suggests that I'm in the top 5% or even the top 1% of users by amounts spent per annum. Like most regular users, I've experienced my share of whack job drivers over the years, although I've started taking only Uber Black as I found that most of those drivers, at least, take their work very seriously and treat it with the same level of dignity and professionalism that I'd expect if I engaged a local limousine service. No more perverts saying the kind of things that would get this video age restricted, which in turn mitigates my need as a consumer for opportunities for recourse and accountability beyond giving 1 star. But if I face those issues, how much more must drivers, who surely deal with the full spectrum of their own whack job customers, feel that way? Anyway, if you've read Uberland, or if you have thoughts on the future of work and the merits of being managed by a capricious, incompetent human versus a black box algorithm, I'd love to hear them in the comments below. Check out legalconsideration.com for all the latest on premium courses and opportunities to accelerate your own learning on all things law, business, and finance. And of course, don't forget to subscribe for more quick book reviews.